So I have the pleasure to be here with Mr. Izzy Matos, and definitely a legend in the industry that we're talking about here, and that's social networking, network marketing. He's been there, he's done that, and he's had great success. But I'd like to know is what brought you to STEM Tech, and what is your big vision picture here? Like, where are you going, and how are you going to get there?
What brought me here was not even actually STEM Tech. One of the original founders was one of my top distributors years ago, and he was going to be president of another network marketing company, and he was tasked with finding new products to bring to market. In that process, he discovered the other co-founder, original co-founder of our company, who had the patent for STEM Tech. But back then, the concept of stem cells was very esoteric, very new. It was abstract. In fact, a lot of people, even the church, frowned upon it. So the company that we were going to work with frowned on it, but we recognized the potential for what stem cells could do. We had seen the long-term picture. So the two owners and I kind of huddled together, formed the company very quickly. It took us about a year to get everything set up. And that's how I came in here as a friend of the original owners, and I'm still here. And the long-term picture for the company is one that we've held all along. I remember in the early days thinking that a product this significant needed to be everywhere. And we've taken the product to 50 countries. We did that in under 10 years. Of course, along the way, as many companies do, we had some struggles, but the vision remains the same. This is a product that dwells on something quite unique, where a lot of other companies deal with a synthesized concept. We're actually tapping into the body's natural repair, restore, renewal system. We've just figured out a way to make it work more efficiently, more effectively, and economically without any of the invasive aspects that are so typical of stem cells. In so doing, that letter, that name that you see behind me, STEMceuticals, comes into play. Our vision is to create and enlarge this niche that we've created. On the one side, you have pharmaceuticals, which is where, of course, big pharma, they don't deal with the root cause. They mask the issues with their pharmaceuticals. On the other side, you have nutraceuticals, which is where we deal with those root causes on a natural basis. We bridge the gap between pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals using stem cells as that repair bridge, hence the trademark name STEMceuticals. And we want to expand that market, take it around the world again, get it into the hands of every single person that we possibly can, because it is the ultimate way to repair, restore, and renew the body.
So the RCM product obviously is a key product for STEM Tech. And a common question people ask is, how effective is it? And what would you say a good answer to that would be?
Well, does it work? Absolutely. And the results have spoken for themselves. Keep in mind that we've been distributing this product for over 19 years. It's gone into 50 countries. In those 19 years, we've sold over 10 million sets of RCM, 10 million bottles. We have a return rate of less than 1%. And that translates to about $750 million in sales so far. If it didn't work, it wouldn't have been as successful.
What actually is RCM and why do they work together so well?
That's a great question. It's a synergistic setup that we've learned works best, and that's based on our 19 years of experience. The keystone to it is the SR3. The elements in the SR3, which are all natural, completely organic, they have the capacity to break the bonds that keep your stem cells within place, the bonds that hold it within the bone marrow. So the RCM frees those so that they can migrate. And as they do, they move into the circulatory system and migrate outward to where the damage is. That's where the other two components come in. The C has two aspects. Number one, it cleans out the circulatory system. I kind of call it the roto-rooter of our product because it cleans out the vascular setup. It makes it possible for the stem cells to migrate properly. It's actually more or less a vasodilator, opens up the passageway for the stem cells to circulate. The third component is the M. When a tissue is damaged, it sends off a signal, a protein signal. It says, over here, this is where I need to go. If you leave it to the stem cells alone, they will get there. But the combination of the three accelerates the process. The R releases in a faster modality. The C opens up the pathways for them to travel. And the M is the signal light that says over here, over here, over here. So working together, it expedites the repair, restore, renewal process. It's an automatic part of your body.
So, Izzy, tell me a
Sure.
little bit about your background. I know you've only been with a handful of companies, and you've built a wildly successful adventure with each company. I mean, you've definitely built, massive, you've had massive growth in the industry. Can you talk a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that I've been tooling around the industry for 47 years, but I got started quite young. I got into the industry when I was before I even went to college. I've been in the industry for 47 years. I've only been with 10 companies, STEMTech being one of them. I owned and ran one of them as well with a very large, well-known at the time American icon. In those 10 companies, I've been very fortunate. My first experience was with a huge network marketing company, one of the originals called Shackley. And I fell in love with the concept of what nutritionals could do. I learned so much at Shackley. But 3 years in, I kind of leveled out and I met my mentor. And my mentor taught me how to synthesize everything that I've been taught into a very simple, duplicatable process. I joined with him, and by the time I was 21, I had experienced some incredible success by his side. And those lessons that he taught me have carried me through the industry all these different years. In the 10 companies that I was with, the one that I owned aside, I managed to be one of the top 5 earners, if not the number one and number two. And that's what helped me build STEMTech. Those basic principles applied to a very unique concept helped me develop this organization. We took a distributorship of 10 people, taught them what to do. Those 10 then turned into 3 that really worked with it. And within 2 years here in STEMTech, that grew into an organization of about 70,000 people, which ultimately turned into several 100,000. In the organizations prior to that, we were able to take those principles and grow organizations of anywhere from 10,000 to about 250,000 people. I guess it's ego, but it's fair to say that all of that got me into the Network Marketing Hall of Fame. So that's kind of a pleasure to be among that. And there was a time when they were ranking the top earners in the world, and out of 52 million people that were in the industry at the time, I was ranked number 143 highest lifetime earner, thanks to the success that I had with and prior to STEMTech, which is, it's just to say that I did nothing special. When you do well in the industry, people think that you're some kind of genius or some kind of monster recruiting machine, and that's not true. I'm certainly not. I'm not a monster recruiter, but I do know that principles are duplicatable. You may not duplicate the person, but you can duplicate the process. And that's what I learned to do, is duplicate the process, teach that to others, and then build them up and watch them become successful. It wasn't, me doing it. I was just blessed by some really good people that took the lessons and ran with it. And it's been fun. I can't imagine doing anything else. I've done other things. I've owned traditional companies, but in the 47 years, network marketing has been my mainstay. It's been my lifeblood, and anyone that has ever been in the industry and had any measure of success knows that once it's in your genes, just like stem cells, it's hard to do anything else.
So the adventure of StemCeuticals and StemTech and the RCM system and Oral Stem and Select One, all the products are all based on helping you become a better person relative to your health. And we know in America, let's take for example, usually people don't change till the pain of the same is greater than the pain of change. That's hence they rely on pharmaceutical drugs to try to put band-aids on health problems. And they wait till they get to the stage where they have to go to the doctor or an emergency happens. And that's when the wake-up calls happen. And of course, the products that StemTech launches help people to maintain health. I know it's certainly done that for me in my lifetime as I've been taking the product. I want to be proactive. Can you talk a little bit about this concept of our mission really is to really educate, to inform, to guide people into the right paths of good StemCeuticals and improving their health?
The body was designed so that it can maintain and function perfectly. The reason it doesn't is because we tinker with the system, either with bad diet, bad environmental hazards, stresses, things of that nature. But the body was designed to repair, restore, renew itself all along the way. We just mess it up. And really, that's the mission behind what we do, is to get people to understand that if you provide the body with the right elements, it doesn't break down. I've been on the product now for 19 years, and I can tell you that I haven't suffered any major illnesses. I'm not afraid of anything like that. My body's in an alkaline state. I know that I can stay healthy. I can, function through. We just had a major global crisis. I wasn't afraid of going through that. Not that I didn't take preventative measures, but I knew that my body was working in a better form because I had these stem cells working through the system. When you're young, the reason that we grow from an embryo into an infant, and then a child and a young adult, we're pumping out millions of stem cells, and those stem cells are rebuilding, regenerating the body, turning into connective tissue, helping the body grow. In our 30s, the amount of stem cells that are circulating drops off precipitously, and that's where unwellness comes into play. So if you had a system that kept pumping out all these elements to keep the body in the wellness state, you've done what you're supposed to. I call it, it's akin to having a car that has in the trunk elements that will repair the engine, the frame. If rust hits, if something breaks down, out of the trunk I'm running all these components to repair it, to restore it, to renew it. Well, when would that car break down? It wouldn't. And that's the concept behind what we do. You're right, Ed. People wait until something goes wrong to deal with an issue. But if you get ahead of it and you create a scenario where you're generating a state where the body is in a constant state of renewal and rebuilding, you don't really worry about those things. I'm 66 years old. I've been on the product now for 18 years, and I joke about it. I wear glasses, but I have pretty decent vision. I just want to make sure that I'm seeing this thing correctly. My friends think that I've either made a pact with the devil or that I have a painting of Dorian Gray in the attic, because I still look pretty much the way I did when we started this whole thing 19 years ago. Why is that? It's because I take the product every day, and I take a lot of it. I take 6 to 8 pills every single day, and those stem cells are running through my body, regenerating. I use our Select One because Select One is unique. It deals with the stem cells on the superficial situation, but it's also, I think, the only product that I'm aware of that actually has an FDA-approved ingredient. It started out as a medicinal product to help treat scarring from diabetic tissues. So imagine you're applying Select One on the outside, rejuvenating, restoring, replenishing your body, keeping it supple, wrinkle-free as much as you can. And on the inside, you're restoring, rebuilding your body genetically the way that the body was designed. It's the ultimate maintenance system. Why wait till you're sick and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills when you can help your body do what it was designed to do naturally, repair, restore, and renew itself by utilizing the elements that are inborn in our system?
So let's talk about the issue of people always ask, are there any contraindications, any complications with the product? If somebody's taking medicine, is there, obviously people should consult with their doctor
Sure.
if they're on a medicine, or a physician, a licensed doctor. But can you talk about that? And the 10 million bottles sold, what kind of contraindications have we seen, or is there any that you could think of?
Well, when we started out, we were very cautious about that type of thing because we didn't know. We didn't know if you had certain ailments or if you were on certain meds, if you should be cautious. But after 19 years, we know that there are literally no contraindications with any medications out there. There are literally no physical circumstances that we've encountered that would prevent a person from taking this. And you mentioned doctors. Doctors in the other parts of the world are incredibly receptive to what we do because they're years ahead of us in their understanding of stem cells. I remember when we launched here in the United States 19 years ago, talking to doctors, they would call me a quack. I had one doctor tell me, you're an idiot. There are absolutely no stem cells in your body after you're born. That's the end of the embryonic aspect. But I did a presentation with one of our founders in Mexico at the equivalent of their John Hopkins in front of 2,000 doctors that were at the edge of their seat because 18 years ago, they were doing PRP. And they, to think that they could get the same effect without the invasive aspects much more quickly, put it into more hands, they just lapped it up. Wherever I went around the world, the reception was very different than here in the US. And that's kind of sad, but it's a reality, The 10 million bottles, to be honest with you, to me, that's a bit of a disappointment because had we not had some of the hurdles, we'd have sold billions of bottles, and that's where we're going. The gentlemen that are at the helm of our company are experienced in creating multi-billion multinational companies. And that's the mission behind this product, is to get it out there into every corner, every nook and cranny where people exist because they need it. Third world, first world, every world, all around the world. The product needs to be used. It is that significant.
Let's talk about the concept of the VIP customer. And,
Mm-hmm.
really, we love customers, right? I
Yeah.
mean, for the RCM product, people can even refer other people to the product and basically get their product for free. And if
Yes.
they want to take it from there and perhaps become, a part of the public relations arm, the brand ambassador, the independent business owner, and they want to go out and share this with other people and build teams or customers, there's tremendous amount of revenue they can make as they work hard and as they follow systems that we've put together. Can you talk a little bit about the VIP club and then, of course, the aspect of the referral marketing that we have and what we're trying to build here in terms of teams?
Sure. First of all, years ago in the United States, it was a commercial that ran, and I don't know if it ran around the country, but it was up here in the Northeast. It was pretty popular. And the tagline was, "An educated consumer is our best customer." And the same thing holds true here at STEM Tech. We want to grow the company. We want to get as many people engaged as possible, but there's nothing like the conviction that exudes from a customer that's taken the product and has seen substantial changes in their body. So we created the VIP concept where an individual can get engaged with our company, consider it almost like a wholesale buying club. They can participate in our program by utilizing the product, getting it at a wholesale rate, so they're not paying retail, and they can experience for themselves what the product is like. As they do that, they can recommend this to other people because people will see the change in them, whether it's with the select one and the change in their appearance, whether it's a change in their physicality, their mobility, whatever it is. Those conversations will engender conversation. What are you doing? How did you do this? They can refer people. And as you refer these people, you can accumulate credits that will allow you to get product for free. Then that takes it to the next level. Once a person has done that a bunch of times and they're getting product, the next evolution is, how do I turn this into a side gig? We also have that capacity. A person can become affiliated with the company, share this not just with VIPs, but share this with other people that are looking to supplement their incomes, whether on a part-time basis, full-time basis, whatever it is. And they can grow with us in the company. I've seen on both sides substantial changes in the quality of life. I've seen people, yeah, and I'm not making any claims here, but people that were in desperate physical situations get on the product in a short period of time, days, weeks, months, not more than a year. The change in their physicality was dramatic. I've seen it all over the world. And it's the same thing with our VIP and our opportunity. We have room for everyone, whether you're coming at us from Yale or jail, it doesn't matter, anywhere in between, young, old. If you want a better quality of life, the product will do it. If you want to enhance the quality of your life from a physical perspective, starting with the VIP and becoming a distributor, that allows for that as well. So we have different avenues that people can pursue. And that's the thing that I love about this the most. We don't hype the product. As you can tell, I'm not going to make outrageous claims about the product can do, nor will I do that with the opportunity. All we do is tell you, try the product, see how you feel. Share the product, see how that works. Let's show you how to build around that concept and take this to whatever level you want to take it to. As far, as high, we'll be there with you. As you mentioned, Deb, we'll give you all the support mechanisms, the tools, everything that you need so that you can realize whatever it is that you're looking for without hype, without high pressure, and with something that actually works.
We're building a team all around systems because we want the systems to do the heavy lifting for us to tell the story, right? And I think you've seen that in your as you grow, as you've been in the network industry, how systems like this can really put fire on a group of people to really become people that just share
Yeah.
the tools.
One of the hesitations that people have is, I'm not a salesperson. I don't know how
Yeah.
to talk to people. And that's fine. We get that. Those are skills that develop over time. But until the person can get there, as you said, we have the systems. It's basically plug and play, point and click. If you can share text, you can share the story. If you know how to play a video, you can share the opportunity and the product. We make it so that literally anyone at any age, at any point in time, full time, part time, half time, they can do this. Utilizing the systems that we put right in front of them. So makes it easy to share, makes it easy to do.
The real issue that most people in America and other countries of the world are dealing with right now, and that's economics, right?
Sure.
The cost of living has skyrocketed, and whether you're putting more gas in your car or it's costing you more to go grocery shopping, it's the cost of living is just skyrocketed, right? So one of the main issues that I like to say that we help solve is what's called it's a really rare disease, but it's called flat wallet syndrome. You've probably heard of that before. It's kind of a joke,
Yeah.
but America's dealing with that. At the end of the month, their needs aren't being met. That we have people making a decision between electricity and food, right? In certain parts of the country. So, that's where my heart really is helping people. If I can help somebody make an extra, you know, 300, 500, $1,000 extra a month, that could drastically improve their lifestyle. And we have
Absolutely.
the systems to be able to take them there, right?
Yeah. Too many companies in our niche, in the affiliate marketing, social networking concept, they chase after these ridiculous numbers. They brag about, 50, 60, 80, $100,000 a month. Yeah, it's doable. It's out there. But the reality is the average individual is looking just to get through today and into tomorrow. And I can relate to that. You're right. An extra 300 to 500, an extra $1,000 a month makes all the difference in the world. I can relate to that. I mentioned the fact that I own several businesses before getting involved with this. The company that I was with, that I helped found, collapsed. I had invested my entire life savings into that business, and when it collapsed, I lost everything. I remember we were having an opportunity session at a hotel. I was there with my son, and when I realized that we had just collapsed, I was out on the balcony and I looked over and I thought, my God, where do I land? How do I survive from this? As I'm leaning over the rail, and my son put his hand on my shoulder and said, Dad, you'll survive this. We'll be fine. I had to file a bankruptcy 4 hours before my home was going to be sold at the auction steps. I know what it is not to be able to feed the family. My electric meter, this is all true, was actually taken from our home. My kids were doing homework in the dark. In the span of 18 months, I went from living a high flying lifestyle to the point where I was destitute. I just didn't know where to turn. In fact, I had to borrow the money to get started with STEM Tech so that I could join my buddy and get this thing going. So I know what that's like. I know the fear of, not knowing what's going to happen next. Because of that fear and being in a rock and a hard place, in my particular case, I just jumped into this with both feet. I'd lost a lot of credibility. A lot of people out there just didn't trust me because of what I went through. So as I said, I spoke to 10 friends. 7 of them said, I'll try this. 3 of them ran with it. And I've seen that story repeated again and again and again. I'm working with an amazing woman that relocated here from Mexico, who led a very hard scrabble life in Mexico. I'm not going to get into her full story. Came here to the United States, working in a factory, trying to live with, within the American dream, found STEM Tech. Saw a change in the quality of her life. Now she's doing STEM Tech full time. Those are the things that gratify me, is seeing people shoot for a goal, grab that brass ring, but then keep going forward. Whatever the size and scope and scale of the mountain you want to climb, you can do that here. And you hear that in a lot of companies, but there's a lot of heart in STEM Tech. That heart starts pumping with, the RCM, and then it goes from there. We've created a culture here that is incredibly supportive and just uplifting, and it expands. It extends to all our markets: Canada, the U.S., Latin America. It's incredibly supportive. We revel in each other's success. It's not one of those kind of companies where if I'm making it, I got to hold you back because that might impinge on what I'm doing. It's not one of those programs, or where if you hit a certain level, we take certain things away from you and you have to start over again. No, it doesn't work that way here. It's one of the most unique, fair, level playing fields you'll ever find. And seeing that success recreated time and time again with the product and with the opportunity over the last 18 years, I wish I could explain what that feels like, but it's an amazing thing to experience and to watch people's lives change because you got them started with this.
Right.
It's amazing.
And the thing is, they're not in business for themselves. So if somebody decides, hey, you know what, I really enjoy this concept of STEMceuticals and STEM tech, and you're at the stage where you're looking for something to change. Maybe you're looking for change. Maybe you're looking for more income. Maybe you're looking for better health. Right? We have all that, and the great news is that you have a complete team with our team and with Izzy and myself and my wife, where we have a lot of business experience. And that's important when you're starting any type of business. You want to take on the seriousness of starting a business, and you got to plug into a system. I almost call this kind of like a smart franchise, even though it's not a franchise, but it's a smart one, because a lot of franchises I've seen in my experience with digital marketing, they don't provide a lot of support to the franchisee, the owner, that bought that franchise, right? The
You're right.
franchisor provides just limited resources for them, even though they may spend 30,000 or a million or more on that franchise, and they just don't have a lot of support that they need. May have a lot of standard operating procedures and things for the business, but when it comes down to the nits and gritty, there's no smarter way to start a business with STEM Tech, because we have not only the systems, the support, the mentorship, and the product is phenomenal. It's a product that holds what, 5 patents?
It's more than that. It's about a dozen globally. Let me expand on what you just said, because it's so
Sure.
true. A lot of people, they want to start businesses. They go off on their own. They'll start, a mom and pop operation and risk life savings. If you make it, great. If not, well, you're taking it on the chin. But it requires a huge investment, and you're at it alone. You talk about franchise, huge investment. But there's an ongoing scenario where part of your profits have to go to the company. So they're looking for ways to sustain themselves by taking from your little pot. The difference here is that our system comes basically plug and play in a box, like you said. You got the videos, you've got the website, you got all the tools, you've got the support mechanisms, weekly calls, monthly engagement. We've got regional events, global events. We've got all kinds of support mechanisms built into it. But the company is designed so that it creates ways for you to make money. So as you buy and sell product, you get paid. As you develop an organization and your people succeed, you get paid. As you advance through ranks, we recognize that and saying, thank you for doing a great job. Here's a bonus. We've got so many things built into this, rewards everywhere. We want to see you grow. We want to see you create a family legacy where you can leave something, to the kids, to the family, to create generational wealth. It's here.
Yes.
We share what we have very liberally with our field, and it makes it very unique. When people look at our opportunity, they're often quite amazed at what they see there, because it's unique. It doesn't really exist in other companies, and I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of the management team that we've got that sees it that way. It's not just about them, but it's about all of us as a collective growing together. Well, the product and the systems are there. Once you get involved with this and you try the product for yourself, you'll notice a difference. I'm not saying it's going to be immediate, but if you know how your body feels, if you know how your body functions, you will see that difference. So the product is there. The opportunity, just get engaged with one of our calls. Talk to one of our independent partners. They'll walk you through that. And you can see for yourself where the support mechanism exists. We have weekly calls where we share insights on what's going on. We have some of our doctors that get on the call to explain in depth the value of the product, how it relates from a medical perspective, because there is a lot of science behind this. In terms of the company itself, one of the things that I love the most is the fact that we are publicly traded. A lot of companies in the direct selling niche are privately owned companies, and you get a lot of misleading stories, or you get information withheld. You really don't know how viable, how solid the company you're working with is. So it makes it kind of a dodgy proposition for you to willingly invest weeks, months, years into this, because you don't know who you're dealing with or what you're dealing with. As a publicly traded company, we're out there. We are 100% transparent. So you can see exactly what's involved, what our resources are, where we're doing, and you can also participate and become an equity owner. You can buy shares in the company. So, not only are you just an independent partner, you're part of the equity too. And you're going to share in the success that we all build. And the culture that goes behind this, the support here that you're going to get, not just from the people vertically above you or, underneath you, but laterally. Everyone here collaborates with everyone else. I've yet to see a situation where, you're here in the US, We've got someone in Mexico. Hey, I've got somebody down there would like to speak to someone. Would you mind? Absolutely. And we reciprocate up here. You don't see that a lot. And those people don't have any vested interest in your success. It's not about that. It's not about them succeeding. It's not about you succeeding. It's about helping everybody grow because we are publicly traded. The more we do, the better we do, the better we all do, and the more we do. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't see all those elements in your typical networking company. Social networking has a lot of derivatives to it. You do your research, you find out who STEMTech is, you look at the people behind it, it makes it almost an obvious decision where to plant the flag.